Reportedly, after leaving Dearborn, he was surprised to find that Ford still refused the stamp because he didn't want government overstretching its powers in business. Johnson was getting miffed at this, not only because Ford, one of the biggest names in the country, was openly making a joke of this bill, now signed into law, that Johnson believed would be the magical cure to the economic mess they found themselves in, but also because Ford's competitors were getting antsy, worried that Ford would rub salt in the wound by raising his minimum wage to something unsustainable for the third time in 20 years, thus making them look bad by comparison. As it happens, Ford did just that and also made a commitment to hire 5,000 veterans at his factories. Johnson, around the same time, attempted to organize a boycott campaign against Ford because he didn't carry the Fair Labor Stamp, even though his workers had better conditions than blue stamp companies. The newspapers and everyone reading them were just eating up this whole fiasco. Johnson and Roosevelt's next move here was an executive order stating that because Ford refused the stamp, his company would no longer be allowed to win government contracts even if Ford was the lowest bidder, which he often was. Despite the media utterly blowing this one out of proportion, this hardly hurt Ford's business at all because government contracts were a very small percentage of his total business. After a few years, in 1935, the government relented on this executive order, and Ford followed it up once again by raising his minimum wage to $6 a day.